Hi, everybody. Happy Thursday. Welcome to today's webinar. Very excited for today's webinar where we are going to be talking about two new programs. I'm here with my associate, Sam Keller, who's going to be telling you about a very exciting new program. So happy Thursday. Let's just go ahead and get started. A lot of exciting things to cover today, jam-packed full webinar. As usual, if you have any questions, please put those in the chat, and we will definitely save some time at the end of the webinar to answer any questions we can. So today's webinar is all about two new programs, Roofstock Cloud House, as well as the Bring Your Own Property program. So very excited about both programs. I know we've kind of teased both, especially the Bring Your Own Property program a couple times throughout our last couple webinars, but we're really going to dive into it today, as well as share a link with you. I think that link is actually going to be in our chat. And this is an actual landing page where you can start really uploading properties versus previously people were just emailing us properties they wanted to put through the program. So now we have a real site where people can start to upload the properties. So again, today's webinar is all about Roofstock Cloud House and Bring Your Own Property. Our last two webinars, 2 weeks ago, we did one on the Indianapolis market. So if Indianapolis is a market you are considering, it's a very exciting market, one that we are very bullish on, offers a wide variety of properties. Please check out that webinar. Our local broker did a heat map, which a lot of investors are really enjoying as they determine kind of, hey, what's an area that's kind of on the precipice of becoming a 3-star, but it's a 2-star now. So you can check that out on roofstock.com/rooftalk, and you can find all of our webinars. Last week we did one on top tips for analyzing properties, and that was myself, and I talked about cap rate, gross yield, levered IRR. We looked at our properties of the week, looked at a couple case studies of properties. We also talked about a feature where you can find discounted properties through Roofstock. So that's of interest to you. Please check out last week's webinar. And then a week from now, we're going to be doing a Birmingham market overview. And then 2 weeks from now, we're going to be doing one somewhat similar to last week's, where we talk about hot new properties, but with a pretty unique angle where we're going to be taking properties from the audience and analyzing those live. So great. Yeah, I think that's going to be really fun. So next week is the Birmingham market overview, and that's a way of setting up our next investor tour. Last Saturday, myself and a couple other Roofstock employees, as well as about 30 investors, were touring the Indy market. It was a great day in Indianapolis. Had a really good tour. We looked at about 10 different properties, and on April 27th and 28th, we're going to be doing our next investor tour in the Birmingham market. Similar to Indy, it's a market that provides a wide variety of prices and returns. So we're going to be doing the webinar April 4th, and then our next investor tour April 7th and 28th. If you are interested in joining that tour, please email Jason Pabon at roofstock.com. Jason's one of the advisors on our team. He's helping run these investor tours. So please email Jason, jpabon at roofstock.com, and you can get him more information on the tour. He can answer any questions you may have. So the webinar for Birmingham is going to be on April 4th, where we're going to tell you all about the market, get some tools and tips from our local agent, as well as meet our property manager. But the investor tour will be April 27th and 28th. Last announcement, we are also doing an investor coaching. A lot of people have asked for a little more in-depth personal coaching program. So if you are potentially interested in that program, send us an email. Actually, we're going to put a link in the chat, as well as in this webinar, which, as always, we share the webinar at the end here, but also in the chat there will be a link to where you can get more information, sign up for that coaching program. And also please give us some more information on not only if you're interested, but what topics you'd like covered in that program. So two upcoming, our investor tour and our coaching program, we're both very excited about. So very quickly on myself, I've been in real estate for about 20 years now. Got my real estate license my junior year in college. I've done everything from commercial appraisal to single family brokerage to multifamily brokerage. But where I really connected and I think kind of found my passion was about 5 or 6 years ago when I started doing acquisitions for Waypoint Homes, which became a single family REIT. I was the director of acquisitions there. And joined Roofstock in July of 2015 as an early employee, and now I run the advisory services team, where my team and I are tasked with helping both buyers and sellers use our marketplace, but really showing investors how to build their investor profile and how do they build long-term wealth through real estate investing. Sam, you want to tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
I'd be happy to. My name is Sam Keller. I'm the head of marketplace channel development. I essentially manage an initiative by which we continuously curate several 100,000 listings across the country to put the best ones on our marketplace and assist folks to try to acquire them. My career has essentially been at the nexus of real estate, technology, and sustainability. So over the past 20 plus years, I have worked in this capacity as a tech entrepreneur. Before joining Roofstock in 2017, I was with the Waypoint Building Group, whereby we were ingesting P&L data for over 12 billion square feet of real estate and assisting those owners to better understand their operating costs and drive them down, particularly energy.
Yeah.
And I've also previously been with a development firm, one of the most successful solar energy development firms in the world, working with the largest owners of industrial real estate portfolios. Spent 7 years at the private sector arm of the World Bank, financing developers of hospitality projects. And I'm an owner of single family real estate myself.
Excellent. Yeah, both of us tried and true real estate investors ourselves, so live and breathe the product. So on to today's webinar. First, I want to give a quick overview of Roofstock, and then we're going to talk in detail about our two new programs, Cloud House and Bring Your Own Property. So at Roofstock, our mission, as we've talked about in other webinars, is simple. It's the making ownership of investment in real estate radically accessible, cost-effective, and simple.
Yeah.
And all the things we're going to talk about today, our two new programs really tie into that.
Yeah.
Which is why we're really excited about it.
And to build on that, for me, it's worth also mentioning why are we pursuing this mission? Why it matters for all of us here? Why it could matter for you? Why it matters for me? And from my perspective, it's that we're doing this because acquiring real estate can be one of the key ways that you can get out of poverty or put your kids through school or retire. So by leveling the playing field and making it easier for folks to do this is one of the key ways that we can have social mobility in this country.
Yeah, very, very true. Yeah, and both of these products really tie back to our mission.
Yeah.
So Roofstock, we are the #1 marketplace for buying and selling single-family investment properties and 2 to 4 unit investment properties. We've surpassed $1 billion in transaction in less than 2 years after our launch. We offer 2 guarantees, which I think kind of really differentiate us. It's our Roofstock money back guarantee and our Roofstock rent guarantee.
And I'll tell you more about both of them.
Yeah, especially around how it goes to Bring Your Own Property program. We have a track record. If you look at that return of 21.6%, that's the overall return on Roofstock properties that have been owned for 1+ years. So really proud of the returns our investors have seen that have already purchased properties through our site. Pretty amazing return. And then also you can see, even more important than that is very strong reviews, which at Roofstock here internally, we feel, I think the most proud of is having very, very happy customers who are coming back and buying their second, third, fourth, 20th property through our site. So our technology, what do we offer? We offer a proprietary neighborhood score. We offer online writing tools and a diligence vault, deep data integration with our vendors, and allow you to do everything online. Not only review properties, make offers, make the purchase, all doing that online. And it goes back to our mission of making it radically accessible, cost effective, and simple. How do we take all the kind of deep data and make it really simple for people to purchase through our technology? Part of making this simple is, our investors on average are 1,000 miles away from the properties they're investing in. A lot of our investors live on the coast, some are in the Midwest, but areas where, previous to Roofstock, if you lived in a market, that's where you were investing.
Mm-hmm.
It's great if that's, where you want to invest, but otherwise than that, you were kind of stuck. So Roofstock really, opens up the market to people to invest across the country. And that's something, we really want to do. We want to break down geographic barriers and separate operations from investing.
Yeah.
We want people to focus on, their careers and their families and their goals, and be able to use our site to build wealth, and let us help you provide really quality vendors that can, tackle the operations and day-to-day needs of the property. So on to one of our stars of the show today, our Cloud House. So why did we build this? What problem are we looking to solve? Currently, it's hard for buyers to do really three main things. It's hard to identify and access a property in an unfamiliar market. It's also hard to efficiently and accurately evaluate a property's financial valuation and investment potential. You may see a property think, this maybe looks like an investment property, but really it's hard to tell, one from another and really see the returns. And then lastly, it's hard for buyers to acquire and manage a property either directly or through a local partner. So that's why we built these two new products. Well, you'll see here example of a spreadsheet from one of our employees. I know I have something similar. I know a lot of people who are on this webinar have kind of hacked together their own spreadsheet as well. This is really the old way, right? Seeing a property on the MLS, seeing it on Zillow, adding it into your own spreadsheet, going to 12 different sources for information, having to upload all of that, and then you're still not even sure kind of what you're looking at, and you're really kind of still guesstimating. And Roofstock, what do we provide, right? We provide the expenses, really thorough underwriting, including repair and maintenance, HOA, property taxes, vacancy, insurance, tenant information. We include a vacancy factor, all the lease data, loan payment, reserves, really to provide an accurate financial picture of the property you're looking at. So Roofstock Cloud House, we really think this is going to become a must-have tool for every real estate investor. This allows you to get instant insight into the investment potential for any single family home in the United States. Not just rental properties, but any single family home in the United States. You can now use our tool to look up any home in the country through the investor lens and look at it through the financial analysis.
Yeah, you're the first to essentially learn about this tool, which we're about to launch.
Exactly. We wanted to make those who are attending our webinars, part of our Roofstock audience, the first to see this new product. So what does this new program look like? So it's really actually pretty simple. You get an instant insight into any home's rental potential. And we're going to dive into a demo here shortly, but I want to walk everybody through what the product looks like first. So you put in any address, the address of any single family home in the country. And here's what you're going to see. It's very similar to those of you who are familiar with our marketplace. You're going to see very similar returns. We are going to show you a Google curve view. We're going to show you an estimated price of that property. We're taking this estimate. We're going to show you projected rents for that property, and really, show you, is this a property you might want to invest in? You get to see the financials for that property. You get to see the cap rate, the gross yield, the levered returns, the appreciation for that property. A lot of people are using this tool, or I think we'll be using this tool for, you're driving through a neighborhood, you're thinking, this seems like a good area. Is this an area where and may get a nice return as investment. You can use our Cloud House, pop it in there and really see what the returns are like. Or if you're thinking about selling your home or even using that as an investment property, you can put your own home into this tool and see what the returns are like for your own property.
Yeah, to see the extent to which it could function well as a rental property.
Exactly. Yeah, so very exciting. So we show the financial returns, the neighborhood rating, a little dialogue on the property. You can see the short write-up there. And then we show you all the returns just like you see on our site. Cash flow, cap rate, current returns, 5-year projected returns. And these are all the numbers for a property just like you see on our marketplace, but this is for a property that you put into Cloud House. So Cloud House allows you to search easily, instantly get data on any property you're looking at, and also personalize reports. One of the things we're going to look at during our demo is how you personalize it. And you can use our filters and our sliders to really customize that investment property to look through your own filters. I know a lot of our investors, a lot of those who have that 10-page financial pro forma they put together, kind of have their own assumptions, and they want to use that, put it into the tool, which everybody can use. And we're going to show you that during the demo. Who do we think is going to be using this tool? Why did we build this again? Who do we build it for? Real estate investors like, our Roofstock customer base, the people that are on this webinar. It's great for both buyers and sellers, people who already own properties, people who are looking to acquire properties. So it's great for real estate investors, homeowners, like Sam mentioned, for someone who is thinking about, maybe I want to pull some equity out of my property, or maybe I want to move out of my primary residence but keep my current property as a rental. How does that compare to properties that are on Roofstock or some other investment properties in the same neighborhood? And then realtors and agents, they now have a tool to pull up any property through Zillow, through the MLS, and see it through the financial lens, see it through the investor perspective.
And that's both whether they're representing the seller or the buyer.
Exactly. So how does it work? Let's take a quick look. So what we're going to do now is actually do a demo of the program. This program is currently in beta. It's going to be live very soon. Everybody who's listening to the webinar are going to be the first people to know about it. But we're going to actually throw up 3 properties right now. These are all in the Atlanta market, and allow everybody to see really how the tool works. So how does it work? I go to Roofstock Cloud House, and I enter the address, again, of any single family home in the US. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and enter my address. And then I'm going to click Analyze. And then it's going to give me 3 different options. Generally, if they can't find the address, I'm then at Confirm, because we're pulling data to confirm. Once I've seen that, then I click Next. And now it's pulling up the property. So as you can see here, it's showing me it's a good looking property. Shows me through Google Maps. I can do a walk around through the neighborhood. You can see here, I can see the price, and that's the current estimate of the property. You can also see, the rent, which is the current number from Zillow, this estimate. If I want to customize my rents, I can do that. And we'll dive into this in a minute, but you can really customize everything there, including the rents. But I can see the property as a cap rate.
Yeah, 6.9%.
Yeah,
not bad.
Not a bad return at all. Gross yield, solid cash flow, and the historical 20-year appreciation for this area. So for those, again, of you who are familiar with Roofstock, this looks very familiar. This is our underwriting with a couple tweaks, but now you're able to use our tools. We had so many people ask, hey, can you underwrite this property? Or, hey, can you tell me what this one looks like, using your financial analysis? And now you can do that.
Yeah.
You can see it also shows the bed and the bath. And something that I think is really powerful is you can now see the property in the neighborhood rating.
Instantly. Wow.
So many people ask how to compare their properties that they currently own, their current rentals, to other properties they're looking at on our site.
Sure.
How does that property I bought 5 years ago through the local market compare to some of the properties on our site? how do the neighborhood ratings
Yeah,
compare?
this is going to give real estate investors much more visibility.
Exactly, and that's really the goal. Total transparency. We want to give everybody all the information they need to make educated investment decisions. So you can see the rent changes and a detailed analysis of the neighborhood rating and the school scores. So I also want to show everybody how you can look at the financials. So, we're not just putting the high level financials. You can really do a deep dive here on the financials. You can see our purchase price, the down payment.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's a nice slider that you can move up and down. Say, okay, if I bought this with 20, 50% down, how would those change my returns?
Yeah. How would the returns change based on the amount of immediate repair work that might be needed?
That's exactly right. So you can change your estimated immediate costs. And really use these levers based on what you've seen in the information. You own your own property, better than we do, so you put all that information in. So one of the things that a lot of people have asked for on this is the ability to change the assumptions in the cash flow. So you can edit the assumptions. So, say this property, I thought the rent was, $1,300 a month. So I'd put $15,600 into my rent. And now I can see it as, what if I think, if the rents were there, I can also change vacancy and things like that if I want, different property management fees, whatever it might be. And then just hit apply. And now I can see, how has my cash flow changed? Now, if I scroll back to the top, I can see, okay, wow, $1,300 a month rent. Maybe I called the property manager. Maybe I know more about this property. Now I see, okay, wow, it's an 8.5 cap. So really strong return for this property. So that's one property. Let's pull up one or two more. So we're gonna go again. We go back to Cloud House. And now I'm gonna enter a second address. The first one we saw, and we're gonna look at 3 different properties in Atlanta. Looks pretty good as an investment property.
That first one sure did, at the higher rent.
Yeah, especially at the higher rent, it was a home run. So again, I'm just putting in my address and I hit analyze. And now it's running the property through all the same analytics you see, just like you do on roofstock.com. I confirm my address. Now I can see this property. This would be an example of, say I'm driving around Atlanta and driving in a really nice neighborhood and interested in, hey, I wonder how this property would look like, as an investment property. For real estate junkies like myself, you go to a new market and the things you're always checking out is, I wonder if this one would cash flow. I wonder how this property would perform.
Yeah.
As you can see here, $1 million homes generally don't have the best cash flow. I think we all kind of know that. But very beautiful house. This is a $1.5 million home. Rents for about $8,000 a month. But as we know, properties like this have pretty low returns. You can see a 3 cap, very strong appreciation. But man, look at that. It's a huge house, about almost 6,000 square feet.
Wow.
5-star neighborhood.
Great schools.
Great schools. Great property. And you can see huge, increase in rents, the neighborhood score. So, obviously probably not your prime investment property, but really interesting to see. And the reason I wanted to show that one is we have all the investment properties, all the single family homes in the US, not just, your average cash flowing investment property. So we'll pull up one more. And so this is going to be kind of, I'd say, in between the two. We're looking at 3 different properties in Atlanta. So you can see this property kind of, again, property, say you're driving around and see an interesting neighborhood, you can pull that property up using Cloud House. You can see this property, kind of in the middle of the road there. This one's about $696,000 for this property. We have rents at $3,000. Again, higher priced properties. generally not what real estate investors are purchasing. But we wanted to show you that you can really look up, any property in the U.S. and see the financial returns.
Yeah.
And again, you can, mess with the sliders
Uh-huh.
and see what the returns are like
Yeah.
for that property.
And that's what the highest and best use for it may be.
Exactly right. So one of the exciting things about this program is if you look at where there on the top right, you'll see it says I'm interested. It says I'm interested in buying or selling this home. So a lot of people are going to be pulling up their own investment property and looking through that way. But say you're interested in buying this home, you click in there, I'm interested in buying this or selling this home, and then you put in your contact information, and then you can submit that property for review. The other thing you can do, Sam, if you find a property you like, is use the Bring Your Own Property program.
There we go.
Yeah, there's my segue.
Nice segue.
So with that, I want to let Sam tell everybody about the Bring Your Own Property program. So I'm going to bring it back to our presentation here.
Excellent. Well, we've been piloting this program for several months, and now I'm really excited to get to this point where we can essentially unveil it to this broader audience. As Zach has shown you, the Cloud House tool can make it relatively easy for you to see the extent to which any home in the country could perform well as a rental property. Thus, it makes it pretty easy for you, or much easier for you, to identify properties that may present good rental property investment opportunities. Now, when you find such a property, if it's for sale, needless to say, you could contact the listing agent directly, or you could find a real estate agent in the local market who could represent you. But why should you consider trying to buy it through Roofstock? That's what a number of investors have been doing as we piloted this program. And as you'll see, there's some major advantages to doing so if the property qualifies. As you can see here, there's several main benefits. In terms of the first one, the data science and proprietary technology, I think you've already now got a good feel for how that works. But suffice it to say, for properties that are approved for this program, we go even deeper. We take an even closer look at the property taxes you'd be paying if you buy this home, an even closer look at the rent that it could be leased out for, and thus the returns. So if you wind up buying it through Roofstock, you're going to be doing so with the most reliable underwriting data possible. We utilize not only our technology, but our professional underwriting team and our expert local in-market brokers and agents who would ultimately represent you. Beyond that, the significant advantage for buying through Roofstock is that the qualifying properties qualify for the Roofstock guarantee, which I'll tell you more about. And then they also get professional home inspection paid for at our cost, which I'll say a few words about. In terms of this Roofstock guarantee, it's got two components. The first is the 30-day money-back guarantee. In a nutshell, if you close on the property through Roofstock and you notify us within 30 days of closing, you're ultimately going to get a refund of the original purchase price that you paid. Now, that may be because we put it onto our marketplace or because we directly purchase it from you. But either way, you've got that option. Second main component is the guaranteed rent. Basic deal in terms of how that works is that for vacant properties, provided that you engage one of our certified property management partners, then 45 days after closing, as long as the property is rent ready, you will be getting rental income. And that's either because the property is going to be leased up with a tenant who's on the hook to pay you as the landlord, or we'll be covering it.
Yeah, and that's my big concern buying a vacant property, right? Is, the risk of, hey, could this thing be vacant? And, now I'm getting cash flow. Mm-hmm. The Roofstock rent guarantee really reduces that risk.
Oh, yeah.
I'm getting cash flow basically day one, just like I would with buying an occupied property.
Yeah. Now, this next key benefit that investors who participated in this pilot during the past few months have cited is the home inspection report. Again, for qualifying properties, this is paid for on our dime. We have relationships with some of the most prominent, reputable third-party inspection firms in the country. That's who we contract, we schedule the inspections, and these inspection reports ultimately provide 3 key benefits. The first is that no matter what market you're operating in, you're going to get a consistent quality and format. Along those lines is that they always cover all of the major systems and components of the home and are extremely thorough. And then thirdly, they use best-in-class cost estimation software. So they're really dialed into the local labor rates and material costs. So
yeah, that's one thing that always annoyed me about inspection reports is one, I buy a property in Cleveland and it looks like one thing, I have to kind of learn the language there. It's a 60-page report. And a lot of times they never tell you the estimated repair cost.
Yeah, exactly.
So now I got this inspection report back. Now I have to call 3 GCs and actually have them come out there and provide an estimated cost.
Yeah.
So that always frustrates me, especially the fact that I have to basically learn kind of almost a new language every time I get a new inspection report. So I love that ours have that similar repair, similar format, and they provide the estimated cost. I think that's very, very valuable.
Exactly. Now, before I show you exactly how it works and how you could potentially take advantage of this if you wish, let's go over the markets where this program is currently available. As you see, at the moment, we're live in Dallas-Fort Worth, San Antonio, Houston, Birmingham, Indianapolis, Pittsburgh, and Atlanta, with more markets to come.
So these are the 7 markets right now where, so if I lose Cloud House or Zillow or whatever it might be, if I find a property, these are the markets where we're currently taking properties.
Yeah, exactly.
So we have a local agent, someone can help me submit an offer, we can take properties.
Exactly, exactly. All right, now let's quickly go over how this works and how you can take advantage of it if you'd like to do so. 3 basic elements. First off, at the URL that you see on your screen, that's where folks can fill out a very simple form, simply the property address, your name and contact info. Then, provided it's in one of these 7 eligible markets, our underwriting team takes a look and underwrites the property. We notify you regardless whether it is approved or not. You'll hear back from us within a day or so at the latest. And if the property is then approved, we send you an exclusive link where you are essentially seeing everything that you would for a property on our marketplace, but it's private to you because you're the one who brought the address to us. You're free to talk about the property with the local in-market buyer's agent who we've identified and vetted who can represent you. They can talk to you about the property, the neighborhood, the market, and so forth. Then, if you'd like to put in an offer, they can represent you. They can help to quickly get the offer to be complete so that it will be very compelling to the respective listing agent. They'll negotiate on your behalf to get that offer accepted. And then once accepted, they engage as the home inspection report becomes available. So you will have someone who has dealt with hundreds, if not thousands, of similar transactions in that market, helping you to interpret that inspection report and figure out how to deal with whatever it shows. They can connect you with the local certified property management partners. In other cases, if it shows that initial repairs are needed, they're pulling in very reputable contractors. Then both they and our transaction team work with you to get the property closed.
And the property still comes with roof stock guarantee and rent guarantee, even though it's not a property that was previously on our marketplace. It's a property they brought to us.
Yeah,
we're still offering it.
Exactly. Exactly. Now, you may wonder how will a property qualify? And the basic deal is that because for properties through this program, we are offering the 30-day money-back guarantee, where we have that potential exposure of buying the property back. Because we be offering the rent guarantee, we've got to make sure that the properties have strong potential as a rental unit. So we're looking closely at the quality of the neighborhood, the neighborhood score. We're looking carefully at what it would rent out for, what we think the operating expenses would be, and thus the returns. And then likewise, based on property photos and the year built or vintage, we're getting a sense of the property condition. Lastly, just note that at present, homes that have been foreclosed upon or that are in the midst of a short sale or that are otherwise owned by a bank are not eligible.
But really anything else, single family homes in any of those 7 markets is eligible for the program.
Yeah, exactly. So now let me walk you through a recent example whereby an investor took advantage of this program. So Colin Walsh is a San Francisco Bay Area resident. He's CEO of a solar technology firm, a very cool one, Wave Solar.
Nice.
And prior to getting involved with Roofstock, he had invested in real estate through funds and crowdfunding platforms, but he found that they didn't give him the control and liquidity that he wanted. He wanted more control, liquidity, to actually hold title, and to create a passive income stream. So in the second half of this past year, he found Roofstock. His first property was a traditional listing on our marketplace, property in Memphis, closed in this past October. Then he put in an offer on a property in San Antonio. His first offer wasn't accepted, cool. Right?
Yeah.
But he at that point was in touch with our local buyer's agent in San Antonio, Charlotte Scott, and she came to understand his buy box, so to speak, the criteria that he was looking for. And she worked with him not only to examine what we currently had on our marketplace, but other properties available for sale in San Antonio. So together they found a property that met his criteria. She worked with him to submit the offer, get it accepted, and he closed last month.
That's great.
The inspection report showed some minor initial repairs that were needed. So those are now being remedied by the local property manager, and the property is expected to soon be leased up.
That's great.
Yeah. Okay. And let's see here. Let's just go on to the next one. Okay. And I want to share what he has shared with us.
Yeah, why did he use Roofstock?
Why did he use Roofstock? And what he has shared with us is that the rent guarantee, along the lines of what you've mentioned, really mitigated the perceived risk for him. So he gave him much more comfort that although the home had not previously been a rental property, we would be able to successfully turn it into a rental property, and he'd be getting rental income right off the bat.
Yeah, I mean, most of the properties I buy, are occupied, but there is something to say with buying a vacant property. You get to pick your own tenant.
Yeah.
You can make some repairs on the front end, kind of spruce the house up and maybe push the rents even higher.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Like that Atlanta property we looked at earlier, maybe it would be occupied at 1,100. But if I buy it vacant, I can make some repairs, put in granite, paint the inside, and maybe I can push the rents a little bit.
Yeah, so without having to wait.
Yeah, a lot of advantages to buying a vacant home.
Yep. Another thing that Colin expressed to us is the value of that home inspection report. So along the lines of what I had expressed, it was just the fact that in buying this out-of-state property, he knew that there was going to be that consistent quality to what would be such a key document in deciding whether to go forward. Yeah,
it's a great picture skiing too. I don't know where that is.
I don't know where that is, but I love the quote. This analogy to having the Roofstock safety net around the transaction makes this kind of transacting is almost as simple as using a robo-advisor for stocks.
That's great. Yeah, so 2 programs we're obviously very, very excited about. The link to Bring Your Own Property should be in chat. We'll also send it out after this email. It's obviously in this deck. But for those of you who are ready to get started, the Cloud House program is still in beta. It's going to be released very soon. As a Roof Talk attendee and for joining this webinar, we are going to let you know ahead of time. But the Bring Your Own Property program is available now. We will have a link in the chat for those of you who are ready to bring property.
All right.
So very exciting. So with that, again, I want to talk a little bit about some of our upcoming roof talks. Obviously today, Sam and I were talking about Roofstock Cloud House and Bring Your Own Property. Next Thursday, we're going to be doing a overview of the Birmingham market, Birmingham, Alabama. It's one of the markets, a newer market to Roofstock, probably 3 or 6 months. I'd say we've been in there. It is a property where we have a really strong local presence. It's a Bring Your Own Property market. We have strong local broker in that market, strong property management. It's also a market like Indy, which offers a wide variety of properties, kind of cash cow, lower price cash cow properties, good kind of total return properties, and also some really nice pockets of newer builds for those who are looking for something very passive with strong appreciation.
In fact, one of the things you're likely to hear about that most people aren't aware of is a major Amazon investment where they're planning to hire 4,000 people.
Wow.
So for that area, the Bessemer area,
Yep.
There could be higher than average appreciation.
We've actually had 2 people last week that brought properties through BYOP in Bessemer for that exact reason. So again, the Birmingham investor, we're going to be doing the Birmingham market overview next Thursday. So that'll be an overview of the market, why we're so bullish on that market. And then 3 weeks after that, we're actually doing our investor tour, April 27th and 28th. This will be our 4th investor tour. The other 3 have gone really, really well.
It's been fun.
Yeah, a little cold. The first 2, we had rain, I think, in Atlanta. I feel like we almost had snow in Atlanta, which I didn't even know happened. But very cold the first 2. Indy was amazing, really good weather. I think Birmingham is going to be really nice. So very excited. You get to actually get inside properties, meet with our local on-the-ground property managers, get inside the properties, really tour the market. So those of you who are interested in that, send an email to Jason Pabon, jpabon@roofstock.com. And then lastly, the investor coaching program. If you're interested in this coaching program, this link will also be in chat where you can sign up for that program, where we're going to be doing some more one-on-one coaching, as well as please let us know what type of items you'd like as part of that program. What would you really like to learn? Where should we really focus our time and energy on that program? So with that, I'd love to open it up to questions. We'll start to answer some questions now. So first question, I will, so very good question here. How do you set your vacancy rate for properties? What data is used for that? So I'll take that one, Sam. We use data from our local property managers. We have determined to be the best determinant of local, hyper-local market information. We also pull information from John Burns, which is a great source of real estate data, as well as Zillow. That's how we pull our vacancy and occupancy information. Yeah. Sam, maybe you want to take this one on.
Well, how about this? I see, can anyone have access to Cloud House, or do we need to have purchased a property via Roofstock?
It's a great question.
An important key point there is that no, anyone can have access to this. You do not have to have purchased via Roofstock.
Let's see another question there. Based on experience, I highly question Zillow estimates. Is my experience, we close down to that question, is my experience an aberration? Like Zillow, like any, automated valuation model, I see some properties where I think it's really accurate, some areas where it's not. The one thing I want to point out is with Cloud House, as Sam outlined, that kind of gives you just an initial feel of underwriting for a property. If you saw property on Cloud House that you said, hey, I want to dig into further and bring it to BYOP, bring it through the Bring Your Own Property program, then you're going to do a little deeper analysis.
Yeah, and not only that, we're going to have our valuations team prepare a valuation of the property.
Yeah, so Zillow's great for an initial view of the property, both on price and rent, to see is it a 3 cap or a 5 cap or a 7 cap. And then if that's a property you're interested in purchasing through us, we're going to do a much deeper analysis of the property.
And then remember too that the CloudHouse tool allows you to override the Zestimate. So you can slide it and see how the property would perform at other valuations.
Yes, exactly. Hi, why can't potential buyers inspect, view Roofstock homes, even vacant ones? Is a scheduling issue. So you can do Roofstock homes. What we don't do are open houses and showings and things like that. If you purchase a property through our site, most of our homes are occupied. We really want to limit the disturbances to the tenant, and we provide a full inspection report in the diligence vault. Once you get in contract on a property, if you wanted to tour it, during the appraisal, during the inspection, you're more than welcome to. We just don't do, kind of traditional open houses and tours and things like that. We want to be, very respectful of the tenant.
Yep. I see a question here. How do you access CloudHouse? What is the link? I think the important point there is that for participants in this rooftop seminar, we are going to be sending out an email with that information.
Yep. Yeah. So CloudHouse there's no active link right now to send out, but should be very shortly. And we will then send it out to, again, as I mentioned, to the rooftop listeners. Do you contract property? Do you do or contract property management nationwide? So for Roofstock listings on our marketplace, we connect you with a vetted, certified property manager. Roofstock itself doesn't do property management. What we do is we go into the local market, find who we think are best in class property managers, and that's who you'll see listed on our website.
Yeah. We've always got at least a couple of options in each market.
Exactly. Let's see. Does CloudHouse work on portfolio tranches? Yeah, great question. So not on the entire tranche, but you'd have to put the properties in individually. That's a great suggestion, though, for version 2. That's a really good idea. How can agents get involved in the Austin, Texas area? So a couple different ways. If you go onto our site, we have an agents and brokers portal where you can register there as an agent, register your clients, and start to receive fees that way, both bringing on clients as buyers or sellers. So if you go to roofstock.com/agents and brokers, or there's a link on the bottom of the site, all that information will be there, and you can start to register yourself as a broker as well as clients. Does Roofstock work to acquire properties? Roofstock does acquire some properties, so we do have a part of our company that is buying properties directly. So if you do have a property you're looking to sell, a distressed property, you can submit that to us as well. We do have some properties that we are doing that for.
Yeah. There are properties on our marketplace that we have acquired, renovated, and made available for purchase from you.
Yeah, see another good question here. Can you refer investor savvy agents in most cities and states? Yeah, we, in all the markets that Sam outlined as part of the Bring Your Own Property program, Roofstock has investor savvy, investor focused agents in all those markets. And that's who's representing you as your buyer's agent.
Yeah, and just add a little more color to that. In most of the markets, not only are they agents, but they're licensed brokers. And honestly, I feel proud of what we offer in this regard, in that in each market, we have one such broker or agent. We have vetted them from many different candidates. And if you're an investor looking for an agent or broker who understands how to work with investors and how to identify and evaluate properties that can be good rental investments, these individuals that we've lined up
Yes.
can provide a lot of value.
Yeah, they know these neighborhoods inside and out. They know the best pockets for investment properties. Yeah, they're invaluable. When will this go live? So
Cloud House.
will be live, relatively shortly here. And again, we're going to introduce this audience to it. Bring Your Own Property is live now, and we do have the website link in the Slack channel. And again, all of this will be shared to everybody who attended this webinar. Also, where you can find all of our previous webinars, all of our roof talks are available. All the information is available there. Maybe scroll down a bit. Is the marketplace fee for BYOP 0.5% for buying?
It's the same as it is for BYOP as it is for any other listing on our marketplace. And I believe the terms are 0.5% for buying or $500, whichever is greater.
Yep. Sam, question for you here. Will you be adding properties in Memphis and Kansas City to Bring Your Own Property? You want to tell everybody maybe a little bit about sneak peek, any upcoming markets?
Yeah, man, I certainly look forward to getting into Memphis and Kansas City. They're both on the target list for the remainder of this year. How quickly we'll go live, I'm not exactly sure, but in the coming months over the course of this year, both those markets are on the list.
Yeah, both markets we're very bullish on and will be part of the program, no doubt about it. Are there any good markets to get started as a real estate investor? Yes, many markets that are great to get started as a real estate investor. It's really a function of your goals, your timeline, when you need the cash flow. We have an investor profile. I would definitely recommend watching webinar number 1, which talk about building an investment plan. That'd be webinar number 3 or 4, which talked about identifying the right property. As well as if you want to email me, zach@roofstock.com, I'd be more than happy to talk to you about some of my favorite markets. So Sam, let's maybe answer 1 or 2 more questions.
Okay. Let's see here.
Let's see. Here's a good one, Sam. We talked a little bit about, so Birmingham, like Memphis, has decent to good cash flow, but seems to be a little lighter on appreciation. Yeah, I would say historically that is the case, in a lot of Midwest markets where historically they offered pretty good cash flow, but maybe not as strong appreciation. I'd say now, if one of the things I track are where are people moving into.
Yeah.
So if you look at net move-ins, where is there strong growth and strong appreciation? A lot of that is in the Midwest and even more specifically in the Southeast. So I'd say take another look. We're seeing very strong rent growth and a price appreciation in a lot of these Southeast markets.
And I'd add to that even though some markets have had relatively low historical price appreciation, particularly in these markets where we've got these expert local buyers, brokers or agents, they know the market so well that they can help you to identify neighborhoods that are quite likely to experience higher than average historical appreciation in the coming months and years.
Yeah, and that's one of the things we're going to tour during our Birmingham tour. Is those exact neighborhoods and look at those pockets.
Yeah, so consider a strategy in which you focus on markets that can give you the good cash flow, but also pockets within those markets where you can get higher than average appreciation.
Exactly. And our last question, and one of my favorites to talk about, can you talk more about the 1031 exchange process?
Nice.
Happy to. If you want to email me, I'd be happy to talk you through your current situation. A 1031 or a tax deferred exchange is, to me, kind of one of the biggest, secrets or, best way to avoid paying capital gains tax. It's something, long time real estate investors have used very successfully to help build their portfolio. You buy one property, you own it for a while. If it's appreciated, you can exchange into another property. and basically not pay capital gain tax on your profit.
Yeah.
So, there's some timelines in there and specific criteria that I'd be happy to go into. I will tell you, we will be doing one of our upcoming webinars, not in the next couple weeks, but maybe shortly after that, will be specifically on doing a 1031 exchange.
Yeah. And perhaps we're saying that the two programs we've just gone over in this webinar could be useful in helping you to identify the like properties that you'd be acquiring through the 1031 exchange.
That's exactly right. So with that, thank you everybody for joining today's webinar. I hope it was, educational. We very much value your time and appreciate you joining. Any questions on Cloud House or bring your own property, you can email Zach@roofstock.com
or Sam@roofstock.com.
Yeah, happy to answer any information and happy investing. Have a great rest of the week.
Okay, bye-bye.